Hello, beautiful souls, beautiful people out there. Have you ever been onto something great? Have you ever had like this tremendous, outrageous breakthrough that you feel like, oh man, like I think I really got it this time. I think I really got the right idea, the perfect concept that could lead you to just unbelievably success. And then at that moment when your fire is lit, it's like, oh man, like I am onto something big, I'm onto something huge. All of a sudden, distraction from every angle come full circle. I don't care if it's, you could have a complete revelation about the meaning of life, the meaning of existence. It's just like total understanding of everything and how the parts come together to be able to create the whole. Basically, I'm taking a long way home right now because this is just like, I know I'm not the only person out here that deals with this. Just you this close to like that great situation is gonna completely change your life. That complete thing that boom, as soon as I do this, it's just everything just gonna be like, and it comes at different every time. It's like every big achievement that you have in your life is always this. It's like a barrier. It's like a ceiling, and then you break through the ceiling, and then you on a higher level or a higher dimension. I don't know how to explain it, but really dimension is probably the best way to describe it. It's like, I guess, without trying to sound weird, it's like going from the fourth dimension to the fifth dimension. Like the fourth dimension is like, okay, if you think of something, then a little bit of time will pass by, maybe a week, maybe even 2 weeks, sometimes maybe a month or so. But when you literally think about something and then like a few hours later, boom, it shows up. Something pertaining to it has to do with it shows up. It could be that you started writing your book, right? You don't know how you're gonna publish it. You have no idea how you're gonna get this thing going. All you know is I'm about to sit at the computer and type, or I'm about to sit and record. And it's like some way, shape, or form. Maybe you started writing it on Tuesday, right? You go out Wednesday to Target, go grab some toothpaste or something, and you sitting there in the book section, and a lady bumps into you, and you're like, oh, excuse me. And you both say, oh, excuse me, so sorry, oh yeah. And maybe the lady says, I don't know, she could say, perhaps you guys, I don't know, you have a conversation about how people don't read books anymore. The lost desire to read books. And then, you guys get to talking, and 5 minutes into the conversation, she's like, oh yeah, I used to really, be in the book business. You're like, oh, well, really? You used to be in the book business? What aspect of the book business? Oh, I used to do a lot of publishing. And you like, wait a minute, I just said I wanted to write a book. What did I ask that the next day I randomly go to the store, grab something, and run it to a book publisher? That's not by mistake. Make no fuss about it. That's not it's by design. When you start to obsess over your dreams and over your goals, and that's all you think about, that's all you do, you become it, you breathe it, you inhale it, you digest it, you process that. It's like you obsessed with your success. And it's like, it just like all the pieces started coming into place, from the most bizarre situations to the most mundane. It's just like it come full circle. You start running into people, you start finding yourself in places, that have everything to do with you getting that book written. I've had it happen so much, and it's like, basically, I have tilted the scales a little bit of being able to come into contact with pieces of my dream. You know what I mean? It's like I have this one big dream, and then like the pieces keep showing up in my life little by little, like, hey, this is just a reminder that you on the right track. Not literally, but what I mean is, to run into a book publisher after you just decided to start writing the first chapter of your book, literally within less than a day, you run into a book publisher. You've been sitting on this book for the last 3 or 4 years, and you finally decide to sit down one day and write it, and then you run into a publisher. Why wouldn't you run into the publisher prior to that all these years? It's because you got the energy behind the fire that lights the passion to your goal, to whatever it is that's gonna make you successful in life. Everybody came in this world to deliver a gift, to deliver a message to the world, and you're given options. You're given to do the mundane thing in life, go about life, get a job, work your 9 to 5, and then come home to the kids, your husband, your wife, and then that's it. That's most people's life. They go out here, hustle, make money, or they sit at home and make money, or they make money and they sleep, However, maybe they're a teacher, maybe they're a doctor, maybe they're a lawyer. They make their money, right? They spend time with their family, they spend time with their kids, they kick it with their friends. They just spend time with their family. They living life, you know what I'm saying? They living life. They doing the stuff that human beings do, which is cool. That's cool. But I believe that we all were called here to do great things, and each person has a gift to the world to bring that gift forth. It could be healing, it could be teaching, it could be what else? I don't know. I can't even think about anything else, because all I think about, I'm obsessed with healing. I'm obsessed with teaching. I'm obsessed with just total spiritual sovereignty. Total spiritual sovereignty, meaning control over the direction of your life. That's all I can really say it is. Being in control of yourself, being in control of your life, being in control of your existence, and not being pulled in all different types of directions. If you pull here, if you pull there, everywhere, you really can't tune into those gifts that you were, that were placed inside of you as a child. Every child has a gift to the world, and probably by the time a kid is 5 or 6, that gift is just annihilated by life, by their parents, your conditioning, your environment. And it's like, it's like basically you got a seed sprouting into a plant, and it's broke ground. And then, you at some point in your childhood, I would say between 5 and 7, or even younger, most people, they start to just fall into that normal, mundane pathway or trajectory path in life, you know, going to school, graduating from school, and then going to college, and then getting that job, and then, you know, work your side. Or I mean, I'm saying working your salary. Nah, you ain't working the salary. The salary just staying the same. Anyway, with maybe a few, you know, raises, a few thousand raises, and, you know, a few $1,000s in raises, every year or so. Anyway, you get this 9-to-5 job. You got bills to pay. You know, maybe you have a wife, or maybe you have a husband. And you're just living this life. You're doing stuff, okay. And then you get old and you die. You know, you got this thing where you're old. I mean, you're young, and you get old, and then you die. But what do you do in between? What do you do in between that make this life worth living? You know, you gotta start thinking about that. I mean, I don't know if this is what happens when you're 35 or what. 35 is a crazy age. It's like a great awakening. I had a great awakening happening right now, and I'm like, whoa, what's happening, man? Like, do your brain turn on once you hit 35 to where you just got X-ray vision? You got X-ray mental capabilities. You can see straight through people. You literally can see to their core. You know, you can see through your core. You can see through your life. You know what it is that you really need to do to get things accomplished, to get it done. I didn't have this ability before. I promise you, I did. I entertained all types of BS nonstop from people. I counsel people. I counsel people, man. I had my own wounds, and I was looking at other people's wounds. Like, my cup was a quarter full, you know, 3/4 empty, and I'm pouring my last little quarter out, you know, to help somebody else, and I had nothing. The worst thing in the world is have an empty cup and you trying to give. You going off of fumes. So I say, if you're not utilizing your gift and bringing your gift to the world, if you're not doing something that's allowing you to do that, you're not doing the right thing. You're not. You're just not. You was designed for greater than what you are. If you sitting at a 9-to-5 job and you hate your job and you despise going to that job every day, you despise even waking up, getting in the car, and driving to it. Look, you don't let it be an hour away. I used to drive an hour to go to work every single day. Oh my goodness, and I hated my job. Man, I don't know how I did it. I must have been out of my mind. I was gone. You drive an hour to work 8 hours, and then drive back home 10 hours out of your day? Whew, that is hell on earth. Man, I was young. I was in my 20s. Was I? Yeah, I was still in my 20s. I was in my 20s. I was in like my mid to late 20s. More closer to the mid. About 27, I think. Let me think about this. 20. Hold on. What was I tripping? Yeah, I was 28? Yeah, I was 28. 26, $27.28, and I had a full-time job. I thought I was doing it. I went from part-time to full-time. Man, I used to think you get a full-time, you was nothing when you had a part-time job. But then once you make full-time, it's like, oh man, you something, you that deal. I found out, sure enough, nah, this ain't what you say. I have less time for myself, less time to do things for me, less time to do me, less time to be my friend, love myself. Man, oh my God, thinking that this extra little couple $100, because I got 40 hours a week, man, and I got insurance. That's all people talk about at work. Insurance. I swear, it felt like it. Especially part-timers. Like, tripping because I'm sorry, y'all. I know I looked crazy just now. I just heard a loud horn. I don't know what it was about. Anyway, everybody, I'm full-time. I got my insurance. I'm full-time. Oh my God, like, I wish that I would have just, man, I could just, I learned though. I learned one thing by going to college, by working these jobs. I could laugh because it's such a joke to me. Going to college and work all of these jobs, and I could have been working for myself the whole time. At 17, I could have my own business. At 17, I could have. Man, I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't. But I'm free now. I'm free. Ain't nothing holding me back. There used to be a saying back in the day when I was a kid growing up. It was big in the 90s. It used to say, knowledge is power. Your attitude determines your altitude. At school, they used to have a sign up. You go in a classroom, you see these signs all over, all these positive sayings, which was great because every day you go to school, you see a positive, you see a positive message. That was cool. But knowledge, I said all that to say, I'm sorry, I guess I tried. Knowledge is power. Knowledge and information is power. Nobody can touch you. If you got knowledge, that equals power. Let that sink in. There used to be a saying that said,